Now suppose there is a string AAB, right? AAB. Now we have to do the syntax analysis of this string of terminals, right? So what happens in syntax analysis? In syntax analysis we need to check whether this string of terminals is generated by this grammar, right, whose action table and go to table we have constructed or not. If this string of terminals has been generated by this grammar, right, it means this string is syntactically correct, otherwise it is not syntactically correct. So we need to do the syntax analysis of this string by using these action table and go to table, right? These are the action table and go to table of this grammar. So first of all, what we will do, at the end of this string of terminals we will add this dollar symbol, right, and we will take a stack, right, and at the bottom of a stack we will place this dollar symbol, right, and after that we will push this initial state of DFA, that is I0, right. Now at the top of a stack we are having this initial state I0. Now we will scan this string of tokens from left to right. So first input pointer will point to this first terminal, right, that is the leftmost terminal of the string, that is the terminal A, right. So now in we have to see this action and go to table. Now in row I0, right, and column labeled by terminal symbol A, it is written here as 2. It means shift and jump to state I2, right. So here when at the top of stack we are having this state I0 and input pointer is pointing to the terminal symbol A, right. Then what we need to do, we need to shift this A in stack, right, and then jump to state I2, right. So now this is the content of stack, right. This I2 is at the top of stack, right, and the input pointer is pointing to this A, right. Now what we need to do, now see here at the top of stack we are having I2 and the input pointer is pointing to the terminal symbol A. So what will be the next move? So to find the next move we need to check the action table, right. So in action table, at row labeled by I2 and column labeled by terminal symbol A, the entry is S5, right. The entry is S5, so it means shift this terminal symbol A and jump to state I5, right. So now the content of stack will be this terminal symbol A will be shifted, right, and after that we will insert the state of DFA, that is I5, right. Now the input pointer will point to the terminal symbol B. So what will be the next move? Now at the top of stack now we have I5, right, and the input pointer points to terminal symbol B. So we will check the action table at row labeled by I5 and column labeled by terminal symbol B. So at row labeled by I5 and column labeled by terminal symbol B, we are having S3. It means shift and jump to state I3. So the content of stack will be this B will be shifted in a stack, and then after that we will insert this state I3, right. Now after that input pointer will point to the dollar, right. Now see what will be the next move. Here it is written that at the top of stack is I3 and input pointer points to dollar, right. So in action table we will see in row labeled by I3 and column labeled by dollar, it is written here R3. It means reduction by production rule number 3, and third production rule is A derives B. So here we need to do the reduction by production rule A derives B. Now see, at the right of this production rule, at the right of this production rule there is only one symbol. So since there is a one symbol, right, so we will pop two elements from the stack, right. So what we do when we perform reduction, whatever the number of symbols are there at the right of production rule, double of that number we will pop from the stack, right. So here we are having only one terminal symbol at the right of production rule. So from here we will pop two symbols, right. From the stack we will pop two symbols, right. So these two symbols will be popped from the stack, right. Now this will be the content of stack. Now what we need to do, we need to do reduction by this production rule, right. So this B is to be reduced by this whatever is at the left of this production rule. At the left of this production rule is A, right. So at the left of this production rule is non-terminal symbol A, right. Now at the top of stack we are having state I5. Now what will be the response of I5 for non-terminal symbol A? Now for that we need to check this go to table. In go to table, at row labeled by I5 and column labeled by non-terminal symbol A, here it is written 6, right. It means this A will be pushed in the stack, and after that it will jump to state I6, right. So this A we will push, and then we will write, or we will push state I6 in the stack, right. Now at the top of stack we are having this symbol I6, right, state I6, and input pointer points to the symbol $. So what will be the next move? So for that we need to check the action table, row labeled by I6 and column labeled by $. So in action table, row labeled by I6 and column labeled by $, it is written here R2. It means reduction by production rule number 2, and production rule number 2 is A drives AA. So here we need to do reduction by production rule number 2, that is A drives AA. So at the right side of this production rule there are two symbols. So from stack we will pop 4 symbols, because at right of this production rule there are two symbols. So double of the number of symbols which are at the right of this production rule we will pop from the stack. So from the stack we will pop these 4 symbols. Now the content of a stack will be I0, A, I2, only this, right. Now what we need to do, we need to do reduction, right. So this AA, it should be reduced by the left part of this production rule, that is A, right. Now at the top of stack we are having this state I2, right. Now what will be the response of I2 for non-terminal symbol A, right. Now see here what we have done in this move, how we have done this reduction by this production rule. First we have popped these 4 symbols, right, and what is at the left side of this production rule, that is non-terminal A. So at the top of stack we are having this state I2, right. So we will see the response of I2 for this non-terminal symbol A. So see this go to table, in go to table you can see that at row labeled by I2 and column labeled by non-terminal symbol A, the entry is 4, right. It means the DFA will read this symbol and jump to state I4. So for that what we need to do, this A will be pushed in a stack, and after that we will post the state I4, right. Now at the top of stack we are having this state I4, and input pointer is pointing to this symbol $. So what will be the next move? For that we need to check the action table at row labeled by I4 and column labeled by $. So a row labeled by I4 and column labeled by $. At that entry it is written R1. It means reduction by production rule number 1, and production rule number 1 is S drives AA. So we need to do the reduction by this production rule as derives AA. So right side of this production rule is having 2 symbols, so 4 symbols will be popped from this stack, these 4 symbols. Now the content of a stack is this, right? Now what happens in reduction, what happens, this right side is reduced by left side of the production rule. So left side of this production rule is non-terminal symbol S. Now at the top of a stack is I0, right? And what we are having here, we are having this non-terminal symbol S. Now we need to see the response when the state is I0 and the non-terminal symbol is S. We need to see the response in goto table. So at row labeled by I0 and column labeled by non-terminal symbol S, at that entry it is written 1, right? So it means this S will be pushed in a stack, and after that we will write the state I1, right? Because at row labeled by I0 and column labeled by S, it is written 1, right? It means a DFA from state I0, when it reads S, it will jump to state I1. So S will be pushed in the stack, and after that I1 will be pushed in the stack, right? Now I1 is at the top of stack, right? Now input pointer is pointing to this symbol $, right? So what happens? What will be the next move? For that we need to check the action table, right? At row labeled by I1 and column labeled by $. So in action table, at row labeled by I1 and column labeled by $, it is written here accept, right? So we will halt there, right? Parcel will halt there, right? And it is declared that syntax analysis is successful. It means this string of tokens is syntactically correct, right? So what happens when we got this response accept, right? Then the parser will halt, right? And it will declare the syntax analysis is successful, right? And it means whatever the string of terminals was given, it was syntactically correct.